Welcome to Educational Toolbox Time. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Thomas Starkey. Today we are going to be talking with Gary Chadwick. He is the school counselor at Hickory Hills K-8 school here in Springfield, Missouri, and he is going to talk to us a little bit about some coping skills. Maybe you need to have some coping skills to help you through your day, or maybe you need coping skills to help you with your students. Let's listen to what Gary has to say, and we'll talk about some more coping skills at the end of this conversation.
All right, so I'm Gary Chadwick, and I'm the school counselor at Hickory Hills Middle School. I'm also a licensed professional counselor. And today we're going to talk about some coping skills that you can use for yourself if you are an educator, or maybe you're a parent, or even if you're a student. So hopefully we can hit a couple things that'll be useful, practical, things that don't require a lot of supplies, just something you have right there with you. And so the first couple things we want to talk about is, of course, breathing. Anytime you're feeling stressed or anxious, taking that deep breath is huge. It really does calm down your whole nervous system. It gives you time to reflect and think, which a lot of the time when we're anxious, our thoughts start to race and we get a little bit more nervous because we don't know if we're going to say the right thing or if we're going to make a mistake, we do something awkward. So then it just kind of compounds everything. So stopping and taking that breath really does reset kind of your whole nervous system. And so some of the techniques that I know I've seen in the elementary school are balloon breaths. You can do breathing techniques called the drain, and you can also do like a pretzel. I really like the pretzel, the act of crossing your arms, and then you're going to interlock your fingers and bring it back together as you're doing your breath. And so that left-right brain thing happens, which connects, both those hemispheres, and so it acts in a very powerful way across your system. The other thing you can do while you're doing the pretzel is you can put your tongue to the top of your mouth, and that kind of completes the effect. And then actually one other part of that pretzel breath is you could actually cross your legs while you're doing it. And so once again, getting that full body left right brain connection going and taking some breaths to calm it down. Some other just basic things you can do. Anybody that's ever sat down in my office, I will always have coloring sheets available, something where they can be creative and they can kind of just have a free moment with their brain. They can kind of just do some free art where they're just coloring. And I realized a couple years ago, we had just had a baby and life was hectic and we weren't getting as much sleep. But I would come home and I would sit down with my other son and we would color together. And that just really allowed me to have kind of a sense of control over something. Number one, it allowed me to use some creative skills, and it's just a nice way to relax. And so just sitting down with a piece of paper, some colors, it's probably something you have in your supply. It's a nice way to just relax. Some of the other things you can do really are involving your body. And so you're going to get out and you're going to get some sunshine, get that vitamin D producing in your body so you can reduce some of that stress, get moving, get walking, get some fresh air. If you find yourself during COVID cooped up and stuck in your house, it's time to get up, get moving, especially if you're doing a lot of virtual learning. If you're constantly hunched over, the body and mind really do work well together. And when your body is stressed, your mind is stressed. And when your mind is stressed, your body is stressed. So if you've ever felt like you're stressed and your neck starts to hurt, your headache starts, probably that's because you have had kind of that connection between your anxiety and the physical response of your body. And so getting up and getting moving helps you to loosen up those muscles. It allows you to do some more breathing, which is a natural part of walking. And once again, there's a left right thing happening with both hemispheres of your brain because you're using your left foot, your right foot, your left foot, your right foot. So there's a whole lot of just powerful things you can do there by just getting outside and getting moving.
Okay.
The other thing that I like to see is just a daily routine. If you are finding that maybe you're logged into virtual and sleep in a little more, and so then you stay up late, you're getting your body out of rhythm. And so having a healthy routine where you're going to bed at a certain time and you're waking up at a certain time and you're eating at certain times during the day really does impact your emotional health. And so creating a set routine, whether you're an adult or a kid, it's invaluable. And so if you are an adult, you probably recognize the days that you have your hardest days or days you didn't get good sleep. And maybe that's because you were stressed about what's coming the next day, or maybe it's because you were busy doing work in the evening. Get that tech and put it away, get lights lowered, get ready for bed, get some sleep, because that really is the brain reset you need in the evening.
So we just heard from Gary Chadwick about some coping skills that we can use, and some other awesome things that we can use with our students and with ourselves. Let's talk about a couple of the breaths that he talked about. He talked about the pretzel breath. So the pretzel breath is a little easy. It's pretty easy. I'm not ready to go. You're gonna take your arms and you're gonna put them straight out in front of you. You're gonna cross them over. So like Gary was saying, we're gonna be doing this crossing the midline. So think about the middle of your breath, the middle of your body. You're gonna put one arm out, put the other arm out, cross the midline. You're gonna take them, put them hand in hand, and you're just gonna take them, and you're gonna come up to your chest and in. And now with this breath, we're gonna take a big deep breath. We're gonna hold it for about 3 seconds, and we're gonna let it out for 10. All right, let's do that again. Take another deep breath. Hold. And let it out for 10. All right. So that is the pretzel breath. The next breath that Gary talked about is the balloon breath. So we're going to think of our hands as the balloon. We're going to put it up here. And as we blow, if you've ever blown up a balloon, you have to just take a couple of it. So we're going to blow up this balloon. We're going to go. As we suck in, we're going to blow the balloon, and we're going to let it out. So our lungs are the balloons, but our hands we're using the balloons also. So whenever we take the breath in, we're filling up the balloon, and then we're letting the balloon out. All right, so that is the balloon breath. Those are 2 easy balloons. The next breath is a little more difficult. It's called the drain. So we're going to take our arms and we're going to put them straight out. And with this one, we're just going to take our fist. And as we're taking our breath in, we're going to tighten our entire body. You're going to tighten all the muscles. And then you're going to loosen them and you're going to breathe out. Okay? And again, you're just going to let your arms relax. And then you're going to take another big deep breath. And you're going to tighten all the muscles in your body with your arms straight out. And then you're going to relax as you let it out. Ready? All right. So those are 3 breaths that you can use by yourself, with your students, or maybe you just see somebody's having a rough day. You can say, "Hey, let's try this breath." Just try the breathing techniques. We also call them belly breaths. So we're using our belly, our diaphragm, part of our stomach. We're not breathing with just our chest because that's a shallow breath. We're using our belly. This is another thing, is you can put your hands on your belly. And you're going to push your stomach out so you get all that air. Because when you breathe with your stomach, you're breathing in more air than if you breathe with just the lungs of your chest. Because breathing with that is a shallow breath. Hope this all was great, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please join me again on the next Educational Toolbox time with Thomas Starkey. We're going to be also hearing from some other awesome people. So please check out my other videos to see other great information and great things that you can be doing to help you and your students be successful in learning.